Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see simple steam power plant. Now here, as they are saying that it is a steam power plant, that means the power is generated from the steam. Here steam is circulating through the device. Here steam is circulating through the various devices, right? And here in this simple steam power plant, all the processes are flow processes. All processes are flow processes, right? And my dear students, whenever power is generated from the steam, the cycle is Rankine cycle. Here the cycle is called Rankine cycle. Therefore the name of this chapter is also Rankine cycle, right? This chapter is Rankine cycle. Now my dear students, as here power is generated from the steam, therefore first of all we have to convert water into steam. Therefore for the conversion of water into steam we have boiler. So let us understand this simple steam power plant, also called simple steam power plant, SSPP, and it functions on the Rankine cycle, right? Now to convert water into steam we have boiler. Now here there is a water inside this boiler. In this boiler there is a water, right? And heat is supplied in this boiler. Now as heat is supplied in this boiler to this water, therefore this water will convert into vapor or steam, we can say steam. And the process is constant pressure process. Here in boiler heat is supplied at constant pressure process, right? And here there will be a phase change. As liquid is converting into vapor or steam, there will be a phase change. Therefore there will be a liquid vapor dome. That liquid vapor dome already we have seen in properties of fluid subject or chapter, right? Now here, as this boiler produces steam, this steam is inlet to the turbine, therefore this is a condition 1. Let's say this is a condition 1. Now this steam is passed through turbine. Here there will be a turbine where work is produced. This turbine will produce work, that is work of turbine, right? Here this T is for turbine, right? Where this steam expands in the turbine and produces the work. Therefore 1 to 2, 1 to 2 is turbine expansion. And my dear students, this 1 to 2 is nothing but we can say 1 to 2 is turbine expansion, and turbine expansion is very fast process, right? Turbine expansion is very fast process. Therefore we can say it is a reversible adiabatic process. Reversible adiabatic process. And reversible adiabatic process is also called isentropic process. It is also called isentropic process, right? Therefore let us say turbine expansion is reversible adiabatic process or isentropic process. Later we will understand all these processes. Now from once the turbine produces work and after turbine expansion, this steam passes through the condenser to reject heat from this steam, right? Therefore there will be a condenser. Here there will be a condenser where in this condenser heat is rejected from the steam, and again in this condenser steam becomes saturated liquid. The purpose of condenser is to reject heat and convert into saturated liquid. Therefore at 3 after condenser the state will be, we can say, saturated liquid state. Saturated liquid state. And my dear students, this saturated liquid state is represented by suffix ef in steam table, right? Now as this liquid we have to supply to boiler again, then we need here pump. To handle liquid we have pump, therefore we will use here pump. Therefore 3 to 4 is pumping. Here it is a pump, right? 3 to 4 is pumping of this liquid, and again it is given back to the boiler where from 4 to 1 at constant pressure heat is supplied, right? So various processes are 1 to 2 is turbine expansion, which is reversible adiabatic process, that is isentropic process, right? 2 to 3 is condenser. 2 to 3 is condenser. That means in condenser heat is rejected and condenser is a constant pressure process. Here in condenser heat is rejected at constant pressure, right? Therefore in condenser at constant pressure, pressure remains constant and heat rejected at constant pressure, right? And in condenser, at the end of condenser, the steam is converted into saturated liquid state. Therefore the exit of condenser is liquid state, saturated liquid state. Now this liquid is given to the pump, therefore 3 to 4 is pumping. 3 to 4 is pumping. Now this pumping is nothing but reversible adiabatic pumping. We can say reversible adiabatic compression also. Reversible adiabatic compression is called pumping. Now my dear students, whenever it is a liquid, for compression we have pump. For liquids, to handle liquids we have pumps, right? And what is the purpose of pump? To increase pressure. Here reversible adiabatically pressure increases, that is isentropically at constant entropy or very fast process. And gases to handle gases we have compressor. The purpose is same, to increase pressure. The purpose of compressor and pump is same. To compress means to increase the pressure, right? So here at the end of condenser, as there is a saturated liquid state, therefore we have to use pump here. Now again 3 to 4 is pumping, and 4 to 1 is boiler heat supply. Therefore we can say 4 to 1 is boiler, where heat is supplied at constant pressure. Therefore boiler is a constant pressure process where heat supplied at constant pressure. Now my dear students, depending on the inlet condition of turbine, the Rankine cycle can be said as superheated Rankine cycle or dry saturated Rankine cycle or wet Rankine cycle. Now whenever this inlet condition to the turbine, that is at 1, the condition at 1, if this condition at 1 is superheated vapor, then it is called superheated Rankine cycle. If this one is dry saturated vapor, then it is called dry saturated Rankine cycle. And if this one condition, that is turbine entry condition, is wet condition, that is it is a liquid plus vapor mixture, then it is called wet Rankine cycle. If this condition is wet, that is if this one condition falls in liquid vapor dome, then it is called wet Rankine cycle. So my dear students, let us understand all these processes and these devices on various planes. Let us draw PV diagram, temperature versus entropy diagram, and enthalpy versus entropy diagram for these processes, right? Very first process 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic expansion in turbine. 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat rejection in condenser, and where at the end of condenser there will be a saturated liquid state. 3 to 4 is pumping, reversible adiabatic pumping, and here the liquid is pumped, right? Here there is a liquid from 3 to 4, and 4 to 1 is again constant pressure heat supply in boiler. So let us draw pressure versus volume diagram, then temperature versus entropy diagram, and enthalpy versus entropy diagram for this. Now enthalpy versus entropy diagram is also called Mollier chart. So here I am considering pressure versus volume diagram, temperature versus entropy diagram, and enthalpy versus entropy diagram. This enthalpy versus entropy diagram is also called Mollier chart. Now here these are the liquid vapor domes. On various planes. Now let us understand the processes. Now very first is we will understand superheated Rankine cycle. Now let us say 1, 2, 3, 4 is superheated Rankine cycle. Rankine cycle. Now in case of superheated Rankine cycle, the turbine expansion starts in superheated region. Superheated Rankine cycle means turbine expansion starts in superheated state. Superheated state, right? Now let us understand this superheated Rankine cycle. So my dear students, from 1 to 2 it is reversible adiabatic turbine expansion. Therefore on PV diagram, let us say 1 is here, right? 1 will be at this location, and 1 to 2 there is a reversible adiabatic expansion. Therefore the process will be like this, right? 1 to 2, reversible adiabatic expansion, and here turbine expansion is in superheated state, right? That's why it is called superheated Rankine cycle. Now my dear students, to the left of this dome there is a liquid state. Here to the left of this dome there is a liquid state. In this dome there is a liquid plus vapor state, and to the right of this dome there is a vapor state. Vapor state is called superheated state. Therefore the cycle is called superheated Rankine cycle. Now my dear students, 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat rejection in condenser. Now and condenser converts this liquid plus vapor or saturated or whatever may be the vapor, the vapor is completely converted into saturated liquid in case of condenser. Therefore 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat rejection in condenser. At constant pressure heat is rejected in condenser, and at the end of condenser the point 3 is always on saturated liquid line. This line is called saturated liquid line, right? Now 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic pumping. Now my dear students, whenever we are compressing the liquid, the liquids are generally incompressible, but whenever we are compressing the liquid or we try to compress the liquid, then volume remains constant but pressure increases, right? For liquids generally volume do not change. Therefore 3 to 4 the volume do not change. The cycle will be like this, 3 to 4. And 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic compression in pumping, that is also called pumping in pump. And 4 to 1 is constant pressure heat supply in boiler. Therefore at 4 to 1 pressure remains constant and heat is supplied in boiler, right? This is called superheated Rankine cycle. Now let us draw this superheated Rankine cycle on TS diagram and HS diagram. Now my dear students, for expansion process I am considering that the expansion starts in superheated state and the expansion ends in liquid plus vapor state. This is my consideration or this is my only assumption. So let us draw here similarly. Therefore here 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic, means isentropic, entropy remains constant, and there is a expansion, therefore temperature decreases. Therefore from 1 to 2 in superheated state expansion will start and it will go to the liquid plus vapor state. Therefore 1 to 2 will be like this. This is a 1 to 2, that is isentropy expansion. At constant entropy there will be expansion. Now 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat rejection in condenser. Now my dear students, whenever there is a phase change, liquid vapor dome is nothing but phase change. Here the vapor is converting into liquid. During phase change pressure as well as temperature remains constant. Therefore in liquid vapor dome the constant pressure lines and constant temperature lines are same, that is during phase change pressure as well as temperature is constant. But here my dear students, this 2 to 3 we can say it is a constant pressure heat rejection. Actually it is a constant pressure heat rejection, but as there is a phase change, during phase change temperature also remains constant, right? Now 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic compression. Now it is not constant volume compression, my dear students. 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic compression, but as it is liquid, for liquid during compression volume do not change, only pressure increases, right? Therefore 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic compression in pumping, right? 3 to 4, therefore we can say 3 to 4 entropy remains constant. Reversible adiabatic means entropy remains constant. Now 4 to 1 is constant pressure heat supply. Therefore the constant pressure lines on TS diagram looks like this, here like this. These are the constant pressure lines, right, on TS diagram. Therefore 4 to 1 is constant pressure, right? Here from 4 to 1 the constant pressure. In single state region TS diagram slope is positive for constant pressure line. In two state region slope is constant, that is horizontal line. And in single state, that is in vapor state, again slope is positive. These are the constant pressure lines that already we have seen in properties of fluids of topic, right? Now let us draw the, here let us draw the HS diagram. Now 1 to 2 it is reversible adiabatic expansion in turbine, that means entropy remains constant and during expansion enthalpy decreases. Therefore here the constant pressure lines on HS diagram, the constant pressure lines are like this. Let me draw first constant pressure lines. Let us say this is a, here this pressure is boiler pressure, PB, right? Because 4 to 1 is boiler and 3 to 2 or 2 to 3 is condenser. Let us say condenser pressure, here again condenser pressure. Here on this line let us say it is a condenser pressure line, like this. Pressure on this line is condenser pressure, which is constant. Boiler pressure is constant. Now during these two pressures we have to draw here a reversible adiabatic expansion. Therefore the process will start in superheated state, that is 1, and the entropy remains constant and it will go to the liquid plus vapor state, 1 to 2, right? That is isentropic, entropy remains constant and expansion. Now 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat rejection, and this is a constant pressure line. Here condenser pressure is constant, 2 to 3, right? Now my dear students, 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic compression, that is pumping. So entropy must remain constant, therefore there will be a vertical line, so here just I am modifying this diagram little bit, right? Here little bit modification, because after vertical line, that is at state 4 it is in liquid state. So let us do little bit modification here. The diagram will be like this, right? Now here this is the constant pressure line, these are the constant pressure lines, right? Now 3 to 4, here 3 to 4 there will be a vertical line, right, like this. 3 to 4 there will be a vertical line, that is isentropic, entropy remains constant, but 4 point is in liquid state, right? And 4 to 1 is constant pressure heat supply in boiler. Therefore these are the constant pressure lines. 4 to 1 is constant pressure heat supply in boiler, and this cycle is called superheated Rankine cycle. Now let us draw dry saturated Rankine cycle. Now my dear students, let us say here 1 dash 2 dash 3 4 is dry saturated Rankine cycle. dry saturated Rankine cycle. Rankine cycle. Now, my dear students, for dry saturated Rankine cycle, the turbine expansion starts at dry saturated vapor state. We can say turbine expansion starts at dry saturated vapor state. Dry saturated vapor state, right? Vapor state. So let us draw this turbine expansion. Therefore, my dear students, we can say one will be here at dry one dash, let us say one dash, dry saturated vapor state. Now from this there will be expansion, turbine expansion, reversible adiabatic, that is PV raised to gamma is equal to constant. This is the reversible adiabatic expansion, 1 dash to 2 dash. Therefore here for 1 dash to 2 dash on TS diagram there will be a vertical line, but the expansion starts at dry saturated vapor state. Therefore 1 dash will be here, vertical line like this, and 2 dash will be here, there will be 2 dash. Similarly on HS diagram, 1 dash will be here on dry saturated vapor line, and from this vertical line there is for 2 dash, right? Here the cycle is 1 dash to 2 dash, 1 dash to 2 dash, and 1 dash to 2 dash, and 1 dash 2 dash 3 4. It is called dry saturated Rankine cycle. Now my dear students, after this dry saturated Rankine cycle, here the next cycle is wet Rankine cycle. Let us say 1 double dash, 2 double dash, 3 4 is wet Rankine cycle. Wet Rankine cycle. Now, my dear students, in wet Rankine cycle, the turbine expansion starts in wet state. Turbine expansion starts in liquid plus vapor dome. Liquid plus vapor dome means wet state. Therefore, let us draw this turbine expansion in wet state. Right here. Therefore, my dear students, 1 double dash here, 1 double dash to 2 double dash to the 2 double dash. The point will be, I think it is visible. Now 1 double dash to 2 double dash. Likewise, the turbine expansion 1 double dash to here 2 double dash. Again in HS diagram, somewhere here 1 double dash to 2 double dash. Somewhere here there will be a 2 double dash point. Right. This is called wet Rankine cycle. Now after this, let us understand all processes and let us do the calculation for all processes. So as we have seen, in simple steam power plant or in Rankine cycle, all are flow processes, right? Therefore, for these flow processes, let us apply steady flow energy equation. Steady flow energy equation. Steady flow energy equation is also called first law for flow process. First law for flow process, we can say flow processes. And this first law for flow process is nothing but HI plus VI square divided by 2000 plus Zig divided by 1000 plus heat dq is equal to HO plus VO square divided by 2000 plus ZOG divided by 1000 plus work dW. This is steady flow energy equation, or also called first law for flow processes, right? Where HI is enthalpy, specific enthalpy at inlet, where this enthalpy will be in kilojoule per kg, right? Vi is velocity at inlet, this velocity will be in meter per second. Zi is datum at inlet, that is height at inlet. G is acceleration due to gravity. dq is heat interaction in kilojoule per kg, heat will be in kilojoule per kg. Then O is for outlet, I for inlet, O for outlet. Therefore HO is specific enthalpy at outlet, VO is velocity at outlet, it is not volume, it is a velocity. ZO is datum or height at outlet, and dW is work at outlet. And unit of all these, that is HI will be kilojoule per kg, VI square divided by 2000 is kilojoule per kg, ZIG divided by 1000 is kilojoule per kg, dq is kilojoule per kg. Therefore equation will be having unit kilojoule per kg, right? Now if I multiply this equation with mass both side, then unit will be kilojoule, right? Mass is in kg. If I multiply this equation, that is kilojoule per kg, with mass flow rate, that is m dot is, it is kg per second, mass flow rate, then here kg will get cancelled, it will be kilojoule per second, which is nothing but kilowatt. The equation will be kilowatt, right? Similarly, this calculation we are going to do in this subject. Now my dear students, here this is the steady flow energy equation, but here neglecting kinetic energy and potential energy changes. If I ignore kinetic energy and potential energy changes, that means I am assuming velocity at inlet is equal to velocity at exit. Then this term will get cancelled. That term at inlet is equal to that term at exit. Then this term will get cancelled. Therefore, by neglecting kinetic energy and potential energy changes at inlet and outlet, therefore, the equation becomes Hi plus heat dq is equal to Ho plus dW. This will be the equation. Now, this steady flow energy equation we are going to use here for all processes because all are flow processes here, right? So, let us use this steady flow energy equation for all the processes, right? That is Hi plus heat is equal to Ho plus work. Now, various processes are, very first processes, that is 1 to 2 is turbine. 1 to 2 is turbine. Therefore, it is a reversible adiabatic expansion. Reversible adiabatic expansion. That is called isentropic expansion in turbine. Therefore, apply steady flow energy equation. Therefore, 1 is here for turbine, 1 is inlet, 2 is outlet. Therefore, H1 plus Q1 to 2 is equal to H2 plus work 1 to 2. And my dear students, the meaning of adiabatic is heat 0. Meaning of adiabatic is heat 0. That means heat 1 to 2 is 0. And whenever heat is 0, entropy is constant, right? Therefore, isentropic. Therefore, here heat is 0. Therefore, equation becomes H1 is equal to H2 plus work 1 to 2 is work of turbine. Work 1 to 2 is work of turbine. Therefore, we can say work of turbine is equal to H1 minus H2. The answer will be in kilojoule per kg. This answer will be in kilojoule per kg. And my dear students, turbine is work producing device. Therefore, this enthalpy difference, that is H1 minus H2, this difference will be positive. The answer will be positive answer because turbine is work producing device and work produced by the device is positive work. Therefore, this work of turbine is equal to, if I multiply with mass, that is kg, H1 minus H2, the answer will be in kilojoule. Just now we have seen, if I multiply with mass is in kg. Here, mass is in kg. And mass flow rate is represented by m dot, which is nothing but kg per second. If I multiply with mass, then answer will be kilojoule because kg will get cancelled. If I multiply with mass flow rate, then it will be kilojoule per second. Therefore, kilowatt. Therefore, this work of turbine in kilowatt will be equal to m dot mass flow rate into H1 minus H2 in kilowatt. This answer will be in kilowatt, right? This is called turbine. And my dear students, this work of turbine is positive answer. Therefore, the second process, that is 2 to 3, is constant pressure heat rejection in condenser. Constant pressure heat rejection in condenser. It is a condenser device, right? And my dear students, here the condenser is a heat rejecting device. Therefore, heat is rejected in the condenser, but work in condenser, that is work 2 to 3, we can say work 2 to 3 is 0 because condenser is not a work device. Work in the condenser is 0, only it is rejecting the heat. Therefore, apply the steady flow energy equation. Therefore, we can write H2 plus heat 2 to 3 is equal to S3 plus work 2 to 3, work 2 to 3. Here work is 0, in condenser work is 0. Therefore, we can say heat 2 to 3, which is nothing but heat rejected, will be equal to S3 minus S2. The answer will be in kilojoule per kg, right? And my dear students, condenser is a heat rejecting device. Therefore, answer from this formula you will get negative answer. The answer will be negative answer because condenser is a heat rejecting device, and whenever heat is rejected from the system, the answer is negative. Therefore, for positive answer, I can write heat rejected is equal to H2 minus S3 in kilojoule per kg, right? This is a positive answer, but we know that this is a condenser. Therefore, heat rejected from the device is negative heat, but for positive answer only I am writing like this, S2 minus S3. Therefore, heat rejected is equal to, if I multiply with mass, m H2 minus S3, then answer will be in kilojoule. If I multiply with mass, answer will be in kilojoule, right? And if I multiply with mass flow, therefore heat rejected from the condenser is equal to m dot S2 minus S3, then answer will be in kilowatt. This will be the kilowatt. Now, third device is, that is 3 to 4 is pumping. Pumping is reversible adiabatic pumping. Reversible adiabatic compression or pumping. We can say pumping. Generally, for liquids, pump is used. And my dear students, again in pump, heat is 0. That is heat 3 to 4 is 0. Here it is a reversible adiabatic process, and whenever it is adiabatic process, heat is 0. That means entropy remains constant in the pump, right? Now, apply steady flow energy equation. Therefore, S3 plus heat 3 to 4 is equal to H4 plus work 3 to 4, right? Therefore heat in the pump is 0, therefore H3 is equal to H4 plus work of pump. Therefore we can say work of pump is equal to H3 minus H4, and the answer will be in kilojoule per kg, right? Because it is specific enthalpy difference. And my dear students, work is compression. Here compression, pumping is a compression work. Therefore work of compression is negative work. Therefore this answer will be negative. The work of pump is negative. Therefore for positive answer, work of pump is equal to H4 minus H3. This is for positive answer only, kilojoule per kg. The answer will be positive here. Now my dear students, we already know that work of pump is negative. So here we are considering positive answer, and in calculation later we are going to use this as a negative work, right? Now if I want to find in here work of pump, if I want to find in kilojoule, then I have to multiply with mass, m into H4 minus H3. It will be in kilojoule. If I want to find in kilowatt, then I have to multiply with mass flow rate, m dot H4 minus H3. This answer will be in kilowatt, right? And my dear students, here pump is after condenser, and already I have discussed with you that after condensation or after condenser, the state is saturated liquid state, means this pump is handling the saturated liquid state. And my dear students, for liquids, generally specific volume is very less. Therefore density is a reciprocal of specific volume. Specific volume is nothing but volume divided by mass, and density is mass divided by volume. Therefore reciprocal of specific volume is very high, means liquids generally having very high density and very less specific volume. Therefore this work of pump is nothing but flow work. This is a flow work or not? And flow work is nothing but VDP work. Flow work is VDP work. Therefore work of pump is equal to specific volume into change in pressure. Pressure difference is pressure of boiler minus pressure of condenser. Here the cycle is operating between maximum pressure, that is pressure of boiler, and minimum pressure of condenser, right? Therefore this work of pump is equal to V into pressure of boiler minus pressure of condenser, right? Pressure of condenser. The answer will be, as here we are using specific volume, that is meter cube per kg, the answer will be in kilojoule per kg, right? And my dear students, this pump work is very less. This pump work is very less because for liquids specific volume is very less. Therefore generally in Rankine cycle, pump work is neglected quantity. We can neglect this pump work for calculations. If nothing is mentioned about the pump work, let us ignore this pump work. But specifically if they are mentioning pump work is there, then only consider this pump work. And in numerical also we will see that as compared to turbine work, this pump work is very small. Therefore we can neglect this pump work, right? Therefore we can say this pump work is nothing but H4 minus H3, which is nothing but specific volume into pressure of boiler minus pressure of condenser. Again specific volume is reciprocal of density, 1 upon density, pressure of boiler minus pressure of condenser. This is how we can calculate pump work here, because pump work is a flow work. Flow work is nothing but VDP work. Now last device is here boiler, that is 4 to 1. 4 to 1 is constant pressure heat supply in boiler, constant pressure heat supply in boiler. Therefore the device is boiler. And my dear students, boiler is not producing any work or not consuming any work. Therefore boiler is not a device of work, it is a device of heat only. Therefore work is 0 and heat is supplied in the boiler. Therefore we can say H4 plus heat 4 to 1. Here 4 is initial, 4 to 1, because 4 is initial, 1 is final here in boiler, is equal to H1 plus work 4 to 1, and work is 0 here. Therefore we can write heat 4 to 1, which is nothing but heat supplied in the boiler, is equal to H1 minus H4. The answer will be in kilojoule per kg. This answer will be kilojoule per kg. And my dear students, as boiler is a heat supplying device, this answer will be positive heat, right? Therefore heat supply is equal to H1 minus H4. It is in kilojoule per kg. If I multiply with mass, answer will be in kilojoule. Therefore m H1 minus H4 in kilojoule. If I multiply with mass flow rate, then answer will be kilowatt. Therefore m dot H1 minus H4, the answer will be in kilowatt. This is the heat of boiler. Now my dear students, we know that the first law of thermodynamics is nothing but, for a cycle, cyclic integral of heat is equal to cyclic integral of work. Now here, considering all the four devices together, that is boiler, turbine, condenser and pump. The first law for cycle states that the cyclic integral of heat is equal to cyclic integral of work. Therefore, cyclic integral of heat is nothing but heat of first process plus heat of 2 to 3 process, second process, plus heat of third process 3 to 4, plus heat of last process, that is 4 to 1, is equal to cyclic integral of work means work of first process, that is work 1 to 2, plus work of second process, that is 2 to 3, plus work of third process, that is 3 to 4, and work of last process, that is 4 to 1, right? And here we have seen that for first process turbine no heat, and for third process, that is pump, no heat, right? And for again for second process, that is condenser, no work, and for last process, that is boiler, no work. Therefore we can say here heat 2 to 3 is heat rejected. Here heat 2 to 3 is heat rejected from the condenser. Heat 4 to 1 is heat supplied in the boiler. Therefore heat supplied is boiler, which is positive. Heat supplied in condenser, which is negative. Heat rejected. Heat rejected is in condenser, which is negative. Therefore here we can say heat supply minus heat rejected is equal to, now work 1 to 2 is turbine work, which is positive, and work 3 to 4 is pump work, which is negative, minus work of pump. Therefore heat supply minus heat rejected is equal to work of turbine minus work of pump. Therefore this cyclic integral of heat is also called net heat transfer, and here the cyclic integral of work is also called net work done. Therefore my dear students, here we can say net heat transfer or net work done is equal to heat supply minus heat rejected, which is nothing but work of turbine minus work of pump, right, as per first law. Now let us understand here efficiency of this cycle. Now my dear students, for any cycle, efficiency is nothing but output divided by input, right? Now here output is net work output from the cycle and input is heat supplied to the cycle. Therefore here we can write net work output divided by heat supply. Therefore again net work output is heat supply minus heat rejected divided by heat supply, which is also work of turbine minus work of pump divided by heat supply. Therefore let us use this efficiency of Rankine cycle. Efficiency of this Rankine cycle is equal to, we can say, heat supply minus heat rejected divided by heat supply, which is also written as 1 minus heat rejected divided by heat supply. And we know that heat rejected is in the condenser and heat supply is in the boiler. Now my dear students, again in case of Rankine cycle there is one more definition called work ratio. Now this work ratio is nothing but ratio of net work output to the turbine work. Therefore this work ratio is nothing but net work output from the cycle divided by work of turbine, which is nothing but net work output is nothing but work of turbine minus work of pump divided by work of turbine. Again it is called heat supply minus heat rejected divided by work of turbine, right? And my dear students, I have stated you that here in case of Rankine cycle the work of pump is very less as compared to work of turbine. That means the work of pump is neglected quantity in case of Rankine cycle. Therefore this work ratio, which is nothing but work of turbine minus work of pump divided by work of turbine, is almost equal to 1. Therefore in case of Rankine cycle this work ratio tends to unity, we can say, and which is maximum value. The work ratio is here very high in case of Rankine cycle. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will see steam rate and heat rate.